Welcome to ESPN2 Local Sports Break, brought to you by Community First. I'm Elliot Kristen.
And I'm Dennis Olenzak. Once again this week, we'll have Nordic Speedway action for you later in the program. First up, however, we'll be looking at a prairie planting project that took place here in Decorah this past summer.
Our producer, Tanya Leek, met with Terry Hainfield, one of the people who helped organize the project.
We're here at Decorah's new City Prairie Park with Terry Hainfield, the coordinator for this project. What all is encompassed in this project?
This is an excellent project where we've got a filter strip along the Upper Iowa River filtering the area, but also 21 more acres of high quality prairie that's been planted. And also in addition to that, an excellent butterfly garden, which will serve lots of different purposes.
Talk a bit about the butterfly garden and the paths that are through the prairie.
The butterfly garden was an idea and that we came up with from a $15,000 donation from Stan and Lorraine Fullerton, who wanted to raise the quality of this prairie to something additional than what we were first planning. A butterfly garden will serve three major purposes. One, of course, butterflies, attracting them both in the larval stage and also as they're flying and feeding on the plants. And also for people to enjoy the butterflies as they're here. The other two most important things probably with this was that these plants will be serving as identification for people to learn what prairie flowers are like and what they look like. And there will be name tags with the different sites of the prairie plants identifying what they are. Third thing what we'll be able to get is seed production. From the flowering plants we'll get the seed where we can actually increase more plants out in the prairie and also maybe increase more prairies in Winnebago County.
Okay. What are the benefits to a city like Decorah in having something like this prairie project?
There's a ton of benefits that would come from a project like this. Initially, like I said, identification of prairie plants and what they are. That's going to really be nice. But also we've got lots of other areas. We've got a trail system through the prairie that people will be able to hike, jog, cross-country ski, bike, and enjoy this area through that area. But also, of course, we're doing good conservation in the floodplain of the Upper Iowa River, where we'll help be able to keep the Upper Iowa River cleaner, there by having a project like this. Also, we've got some wildlife benefits, that there's going to be some wildlife that people will be able to view and watch as they walk the paths that are down through here. And also that this is an education area. We've got seats over here in an education area for youngsters and old alike to be able to come here to be able to learn more about prairies, butterflies, and maybe other wildlife.
When should all of these benefits be expected to be here?
You'll see some benefits already. It's really amazing that we've already got butterfly larvae on some of our plants in the butterfly garden, and that's been exciting to see already. And also butterflies visiting some of the flowering plants. But it won't be for probably 3 or 4 or 5 years before everything kind of gets put into place and the whole project would be completed. But we're already seeing benefits right now, and some of the seed that we planted this year is already flowering out there, which is a great big step already. So we've already seen benefits, and there'll be a lot more as the road goes down.
What kind of things should we expect then in the next 2-3 years?
We are going to expect some weed competition, and we are doing weed mowing for mowing maintenance on the main 21 acres that we planted. And so there's going to be a little competition there of some of those weeds in there, and we just mow those back, and then also we'll be doing some burning to suppress some of that vegetation and encourage the prairie plants. And so there'll be a little maintenance for the first couple years, but we already are seeing flowering plants out there, and so as time goes there'll be more and more flowering plants as they come.
Okay. What kind of benefits, like for instance, can we come out and bike or walk the paths? What kind of things can people do out here to enjoy this area?
This area is for education, for relaxation, and for exercise and enjoyment. Lots of things. I already see people kind of walking the sidewalk of the butterfly garden and taking a seat on a rock just to take in the sunset of this area and enjoying the plants. And so we can already appreciate those benefits. And also the flowering plants, you'll see a certain amount of those come the first year and different ones, and it'll be a changing period as it kind of shakes itself out there to what kind of prairie we can have with the soil types that are here.
What kind of organizations worked on this project to get it to where it is?
Boy, there was a lot of different groups and a tremendous amount of volunteers that put their efforts, into here. There was a campaign to raise $15,000 from public monies, from the public to help this project, and we well surpassed that, besides gathering the $15,000 for the butterfly garden and another $5,000 from the Nichols family from Wapsie Produce, to which we added a lot of flowering plants, already grown plants, to add to the prairie, to raise it to a quality we'd otherwise not be able to attain so quickly. And so those are some of the fundings. Organizations, I really almost hate to start mentioning some because I know I'm going to leave some out. Some of the first active ones were NRCS and Winneshiek Pheasants Forever, who encouraged the filter strip down here in the floodplain. Of course, the City Council and the City of Decorah was very instrumental of coming up front with some monies to start this project, and also the tremendous amount of organizations that added to this. The list is too long, but I think the main people I should to acknowledge here would be the volunteers, because we had volunteer days to come out here to plant these plants, doing the watering, doing the mulching, and those people have helped tremendously.
How did this land become available to do such a project as this?
Initially, there was row crop that was being done down in the floodplain down here in the city of Decorah, and it just looked for a good conservation practice to do a filter strip along the Upper Iowa River to help preserve the river for water quality. And so through Pheasants Forever and also the NRCS, Natural Resources Conservation Service, we had a program of filter strips. And the city council decided that would be a good program or project to be able to put along the Upper Iowa River. After that, the other land was talked about as far as possibly seeding it down to do better conservation and develop a new type of area. Whether it turns to a park or not, this is going to be an area for people to visit, to enjoy. And so after the filter strip there, we had the seeding down of the prairie out here, and also the butterfly garden.
What other projects are there in the future in store for this area?
We already have some trails that are being mowed through here, and I already see people starting to walk those. It's the potential of possibly a bike trail of asphalt is something that we would look at hopefully for the future, for grants for something like that. As far as the butterfly garden, we've got the plants in, they're growing, they're surviving. The next things we want to do here is put up like a gazebo information center here for people to start learning more about what's going on here. Signage for people who donated, signs for the plants at the individual sites there of what these plants are. And also we'll be adding more species out into the prairie. We've got 50 to 60 different species already represented out there. So there's lots of different things. There's a bur oak tree out across the area here. We'd like to develop a bench resting area, and we want to add some more benches to the butterfly garden area for people to be able to relax when they're visiting the area. So we've got more plans to enhance this area.
Thank you very much for visiting with us today.
You're welcome.
We'd encourage all of you to keep an eye on this prairie planting over the next few years. It promises to be a beautiful addition to our city.
We'll be right back after a word from one of our sponsors.